Death should be the end, but for Lil Jeff, the disrespect keeps going. New footage is blowing up online, showing Trap City members mocking his murder like it was a joke.
Hey, this is what he did on the couch.
They acted out the shooting, laughed at his last moments, and even made fun of his friend Q50 for trying to help. But the creepiest part, Lil Jeff's alleged killer Rob was right there, silent, watching, and unbothered.
It's not no video game. It's not no movie. You know what I'm saying? It's reality.
So what does the video really show? And what does it say about the mindset of those involved in the mockery? Let's find out. Mockery video after Lil Jeff's death. The death of Chicago rapper Lil Jeff sent shockwaves through the drill music scene in the streets of Chicago. However, what followed his tragic passing was a disturbing display of disrespect and mockery by members of Trap City, a rival gang. In a series of viral videos, Trap City members recreated the scene of Lil Jeff's murder, turning the somber event into a spectacle for entertainment. The videos not only mocked Lil Jeff's death, but also ridiculed his friend Q50, who was present during the shooting. The most infamous video shows Trap City members arriving at the front porch of the house where Lil Jeff was murdered. They reenacted the shooting scene, exaggerating the events and laughing throughout the performance.
Hey, this is what he did on the couch.
The video was shared widely on social media, sparking outrage among fans and observers. In the footage, Trap City members can be seen mimicking the sounds of gunfire, pretending to fall to the ground and laughing hysterically. The scene was a blatant attempt to humiliate Lil Jeff's memory and provoke his associates. One of the most disturbing aspects of the video was the mockery of Q50, Lil Jeff's friend, who was caught on camera stumbling and falling while trying to help during the actual shooting. Trap City members exaggerated Q50's stumble, reenacting his fall and limp cruelly and disrespectfully. This added another layer of humiliation to an already tragic situation, as Q50 was not only grieving the loss of his friend, but also being ridiculed for his actions during the chaotic incident. While most Trap City members were seen laughing and enjoying the mockery, one member, Rob, stood out for his composed demeanor. Rob, who was later identified as Lil Jeff's alleged killer, did not participate in the laughter or exaggerated reenactments. Instead, he appeared more reserved, distancing himself from the trolling. This behavior was consistent with Rob's public statements following Lil Jeff's death. During an interview on DJ TV in late 2024, Rob was asked about the rumors circulating online that he was responsible for Lil Jeff's murder. He responded by saying,
"Man, I just feel like they bogus, man. Whoever started that, man, please stop doing stuff like that. Like, for real, this is like real life, though, you know? So, it's not no video game. It's not no movie, you know what I'm saying? It's reality, so.
Yeah. Rob's comments suggested that he was uncomfortable with the attention and speculation surrounding his involvement in Lil Jeff's death. He emphasized that the situation was not a game or a movie, but a real-life tragedy. Despite his composed demeanor, Rob's alleged role in the killing remained a point of contention. Surveillance footage from the scene partially corroborated Rob's claim of self-defense, showing Lil Jeff chasing and firing at an unidentified man before being shot 15 times. However, the mockery videos created by his associates undermined any sense of legitimacy in his defense, as they trivialized the gravity of the situation. The Trap City mockery video is not an isolated incident, but part of a broader trend in rap and gang culture where the deaths of rivals are often mocked and exploited for entertainment or strategic gain. This behavior is particularly prevalent in the drill music scene, where diss tracks and public taunts are used to assert dominance and provoke enemies. The mockery of deceased rivals has become a tool for psychological warfare, with gangs using it to demoralize their opponents and assert their power. For example, the death of Tuka, a 15-year-old gang member killed in 2011, became a recurring theme in Chicago's drill music. Chief Keef and Lil Durk repurposed the phrase, "smoking that Tuka pack," originally a tribute by Tuka's allies, to mock his death in songs like 300 and L's Anthem. Similarly, FBG Duck, another Chicago rapper, was assassinated in 2020 after dissing Black Disciples members in his music. Following his death, rival gang members released songs taunting Duck's murder. 600 Breezy released Stop Playing posthumously, mocking Duck's death and calling him a fortune teller for predicting his own fate in his lyric. Duck's mother, Lashina Weekly, condemned retaliatory violence, pointing out that his rivals had also mocked the murder of his brother, FBG Brick. The mockery of deceased rivals is not limited to Chicago. In New York, the death death of Pop Smoke, a rising star in the drill scene, led to a surge in posthumous sales and tributes. However, some individuals used his death as an opportunity to spread rumors and make disrespectful comments. While Pop Smoke's legacy was largely respected, the incident highlighted the fine line between honoring an artist's memory and exploiting their death for personal gain. Mockery of deceased individuals, particularly in the context of gang violence, has far-reaching consequences. It perpetuates cycles of retaliation and violence as the families and associates of the deceased often feel compelled to seek revenge. In the case of Lil Jeff, his father, Jeffrey Harris, made a bold statement on social media following his son's death, writing, "And to let it be known, y'all didn't get him. He came trying to get y'all, and what happened happened, but the saga continues. Clear the streets." This declaration signaled that the family was not willing to let the matter rest, potentially escalating tensions between rival factions. While mockery videos flooded the internet, it's important to understand the details of Lil Jeff's death and who is suspected to have killed him. Lil Jeff's death and suspects. On June 8, 2024, the Chicago drill music scene and the streets of the city were shaken by the tragic death of Lil Jeff, a young rapper affiliated with the Bloodhounds gang. His killing, captured on surveillance footage, highlighted the brutal reality of gang violence in Chicago. The incident involved a shootout on South Rhodes Avenue, where Lil Jeff was ambushed after chasing a rival into a house. The footage, along with witness accounts and police reports, paints a vivid picture of the events leading to his death and the suspects involved. The surveillance footage shows Lil Jeff and his crew in a black SUV, parked near a house on South Rhodes Avenue. They were reportedly lying in wait, a common tactic in gang-related violence. Lil Jeff, wearing a black Nike hoodie and gray joggers, spotted a rival gang member in bright yellow shorts and immediately gave chase. The man in yellow shorts ran toward the porch of a nearby house seeking cover. Lil Jeff, known for his aggressive style, followed him, firing shots as he ran. However, the situation quickly turned deadly. As Lil Jeff reached the porch, two gunmen emerged from an alley and opened fire. Lil Jeff was hit multiple times, with reports indicating he was shot 19 times, primarily in the chest. The footage shows him collapsing near the house, lifeless. His friends, who were in the black car, initially hesitated before reacting. They fired at a gray car nearby, but were unable to assist Lil Jeff effectively. Under heavy gunfire, they retreated, leaving Lil Jeff behind. Despite the chaos, Lil Jeff's friends later returned to the scene, picked up his body, and drove him to the hospital. He was pronounced dead upon arrival. The man in yellow shorts, who had been shot once in the chest by Lil Jeff, survived and also arrived at the hospital with his own crew. The 911 call mentioned a black car dropping off Lil Jeff, confirming the involvement of his friends in transporting him. The shooting was tied to the ongoing rivalry between Lil Jeff's Bloodhounds and the Trap City gang. Several suspects were implicated in the killing, with Trap City members believed to be directly involved. Tommy Coleman was one of the primary suspects in Lil Jeff's murder. He was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and aggravated discharge of a firearm. Prosecutors alleged that Coleman was part of a group that tracked and killed Lil Jeff. His arrest on January 29, 2025 was a significant development in the case, linking him directly to the double homicide that preceded Lil Jeff's death. James Allison was another suspect arrested in connection with Lil Jeff's murder. He faced similar charges, including first-degree murder and aggravated unlawful possession of a weapon. Allison was apprehended in Crown Point, Indiana, and was accused of helping track Lil Jeff's movements before the shooting. His involvement highlighted the coordinated nature of the attack. Trap City Rob, a well-known figure in the Trap City gang, was widely implicated in Lil Jeff's killing. Although he was not formally charged in the initial reports, Rob's connection to the shooting was undeniable. He lived in the house where the shooting occurred, and surveillance footage showed the incident taking place on his grandmother's property. Rob later shared footage of the murder, further implicating himself. In court, he claimed self-defense, arguing that Lil Jeff had initiated the confrontation.
He was shot 19 times, and that's why I think they grabbed Rob for the murder, because it's overkill. It ain't self-defense 19 times.
Lil Jeff's death was not an isolated incident, but part of a larger cycle of violence between the Bloodhounds and Trap City gangs. The rivalry had escalated in the months leading up to the shooting, with both sides engaging in tit-for-tat violence. Lil Jeff's killing was seen as a retaliation for a prior double homicide involving Monty and Lil Rob. 2 members of the Bloodhounds, Tommy Coleman and James Allison, were charged in connection with that incident, further fueling the tensions between the 2 gangs. After Lil Jeff's death, his cousin Q50 and other associates attempted to retaliate. They fired at the killer's vehicle, but the attempt was unsuccessful. The cycle of violence continued, with both sides refusing to back down. Lil Jeff's father, Jeffrey Harris, made a bold statement on social media, declaring that the saga was far from over. Lil Jeff's death sent shockwaves through the Chicago drill music scene and the local community. Fans and fellow artists paid tribute to the young rapper, whose music often reflected the harsh realities of life in Chicago. However, his death also sparked debates about the glorification of gang culture in drill music and the impact it has on young people. Trap City Rob's claim of self-defense added a layer of complexity to the case. He argued that Lil Jeff had initiated the confrontation by chasing the man in yellow shorts and firing shots. Rob maintained that he acted in self-defense, a claim supported by the surveillance footage showing Lil Jeff as the aggressor. However, the sheer number of shots fired, 15 in total, raised questions about the proportionality of the response. Lil Jeff's death was tragic and a reminder of the cycle of violence that plagues Chicago's streets. His killing, captured on surveillance footage, exposed the brutal reality of gang life and the devastating consequences of ongoing rivalries. While Lil Jeff was a victim of gang retaliation, he himself had a long history of violence. Lil Jeff's history of violence. Bloodhound Lil Jeff was a prominent figure in Chicago's drill music scene and a member of the Bloodhounds gang. His life was defined by violence, feuds, and a relentless cycle of retaliation. His involvement in multiple murders, feuds with rival gangs, and self-incriminating lyrics made him both infamous and influential in the drill scene. Lil Jeff was born on July 14, 2002, in Chicago, Illinois. Growing up in a city plagued by gang violence, he was drawn into the Bloodhounds, a gang affiliated with the Gangster Disciples. The Bloodhounds, based on the south side of Chicago, were known for their involvement in drug trafficking, shootings, and ongoing feuds with rival gangs. For Lil Jeff, the gang provided a sense of belonging and identity, but it also exposed him to a life of violence from a young age. By his late teens, Lil Jeff had already established himself as a key figure within the Bloodhounds. His reputation grew as he became involved in various conflicts, often fueled by personal grievances and gang rivalries. One of the most significant turning points in his life was the theft of a chain from a member of the rival Trap City gang. This act of disrespect escalated tensions between the two gangs and set the stage for a series of violent confrontations. The theft was seen as a direct challenge to Trap City's authority, and it sparked a cycle of retaliation that would claim multiple lives.
He come back like he got into a high speed with 12, line saying he lost it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's how motherfuckers broke their list. You know motherfuckers with them, you know?
Yeah.
The conflict intensified with the killing of Zer Nelson, Lil Jeff's cousin and fellow Bloodhounds member. Nelson's death was a devastating blow to Lil Jeff, who vowed to avenge his cousin. This personal loss fueled Lil Jeff's desire for revenge, leading to a series of violent acts against Trap City members. One of the most notable incidents was the murder of Leal, a Trap City member. Lil Jeff orchestrated the killing as part of his campaign to avenge Nelson's death.
Go ask my ops that might go Drake his ass ain't get out that car.
The murder of Leal further escalated the feud, drawing more attention to Lil Jeff and solidifying his reputation as a dangerous and ruthless figure. In addition to his feud with Trap City, Lil Jeff was involved in a violent conflict with the BKN crew, a group that included Lil Rob and Monty. The feud began when Lil Jeff was robbed and taunted by members of BKN. The robbery was a humiliating experience for Lil Jeff, who saw it as a direct challenge to his authority and reputation. Determined to retaliate, Lil Jeff orchestrated the murders of Lil Rob and Monty.
I went black for like a week, and poof. Gotta go after that one. Poof. I came back. Poof. Long live them though.
The killings were carried out with precision, showcasing Lil Jeff's ability to plan and execute violent acts. The murders of Lil Rob and Monty further cemented Lil Jeff's status as a feared figure in the Chicago gang scene. However, they also intensified the cycle of violence, as BKN members and their allies sought revenge for the deaths of their friends. While Lil Jeff's involvement in gang violence made him infamous, it was his music career that brought him widespread attention. Lil Jeff began his music career in 2022 with songs like Bloody Family and I Love My Draco, which featured frequent collaborator Rel Vert. His lyrics often referenced his life in the streets, including his involvement in shootings and gang conflicts. Lil Jeff's breakthrough came with the release of Ah in February 2024. The song's self-incriminating lyrics, in which Lil Jeff claimed responsibility for multiple murders, made it a viral hit. The controversial nature of the song drew both praise and criticism, with some applauding Lil Jeff's raw honesty and others condemning his glorification of violence. Despite the controversy, Ah solidified Lil Jeff's place in the Chicago drill scene and brought him a level of fame that few drill rappers achieved. Lil Jeff's music often served as a reflection of his life in the streets. In interviews, he spoke openly about the influence of drill music on his actions, stating that it motivated him and others to engage in violence. One of the most controversial incidents in Lil Jeff's life was the murder of 2 Innovation High School students. The killings, which took place in downtown Chicago, shocked the city and drew widespread media attention. Lil Jeff was accused of being the shooter, and the incident further tarnished his reputation.
I'm taking to killing school. Class start next week. You gotta at least have two bodies though. For I ain't coming with no. If you ain't got shit, I can't work with no beginners.
The murders were allegedly motivated by a personal grievance, as the students had reportedly robbed Lil Jeff and bragged about it in a video. Lil Jeff's life came to a violent end when he was shot and killed in Chicago. Following his death, Lil Jeff's management released his posthumous album, Stepping in Blood, which included a remix of his hit song Ah, featuring fellow Chicago rapper G Herbo. The album served as a tribute to Lil Jeff's life and career, but it also reignited debates about the glorification of violence in drill music. Lil Jeff's death marked the end of a life defined by violence and conflict. While his music brought him fame, it also highlighted the darker aspects of his life, including his involvement in multiple murders and feuds. His death, along with the acts he committed, was deeply tied to the ongoing war between Trap City and the Bloodhounds, a rivalry that fueled relentless violence on both sides, Trap City versus Bloodhound. The feud between Trap City and Bloodhound Drill City is one of the most violent and well-documented gang rivalries in Chicago. Rooted in personal betrayals, territorial disputes, and the influence of drill music, this conflict has claimed numerous lives and left a trail of devastation in its wake. The feud between Trap City and Bloodhound Drill City began with a seemingly minor incident, the theft of a chain. Lil Jeff allegedly stole a chain belonging to Chevelle Carter, aka Six, a respected figure in Trap City.
He stole the chain, bro. We tried like he took it. He stole my own chain.
In the world of gang politics, such acts of disrespect are rarely overlooked. The theft was seen as a direct challenge to Trap City's authority, and it sparked immediate tensions between the two groups. The situation worsened when Zier Nelson, aka Z Money, a member of Bloodhound Drill City, was killed in March 2023. Z Money's murder, believed to have been orchestrated by Trap City members, marked the beginning of an all-out war. His death was a devastating blow to Bloodhound Drill City, and it fueled Lil Jeff's desire for revenge. The feud quickly escalated, with both sides engaging in a series of violent confrontations. On June 8, 2024, Lil Jeff was killed during a failed ambush on Trap City members. Surveillance footage captured the incident, showing Lil Jeff chasing a rival into a house before being ambushed and shot 15 times. His death was a turning point in the feud, as Bloodhound Drill City members vowed to avenge him. Trap City members, including Trap Rob, mocked Lil Jeff's death online, referring to him as someone who died trying to slide. In retaliation for Lil Jeff's death, Bloodhound Drill City members targeted Chevelle Carter VI, the Trap City member whose chain had been stolen. On October 19, 2024, Six was shot multiple times by two assailants who escaped in a white vehicle. His death was celebrated by Bloodhound members on social media, further intensifying the feud. Lil Jeff was also implicated in the murder of Leal, a Trap City member who was killed while sitting in an Uber. This incident added another layer to the conflict, as it highlighted the personal nature of the violence. The Uber shooting demonstrated how the feud had spilled over into everyday life, with innocent bystanders at risk of being caught in the crossfire. Bloodhound Drill City included key figures like Lil Jeff, the central figure in the feud whose actions sparked the conflict. His death during a failed ambush marked a turning point in the war. Q50, another key member, survived an attack by Trap City and later mocked their losses, further escalating tensions. Z Money, whose murder in March 2023 ignited the rivalry between the two groups, was also a significant figure. On the Trap City side, Chevelle Carter was the member whose stolen chain by Lil Jeff ignited the feud. His death in October 2024 was a major blow to Trap City. Trap Rob, a prominent figure in Trap City, was allegedly involved in retaliatory attacks against Bloodhound members. Glendale Wagner, targeted by Lil Jeff during his fatal drill attempt, survived the ambush and became a key figure in the ongoing conflict.
I'm glad though, he can see y'all talk about him all day. Cause that's bad. Ain't that stole that we always talk about homies. And nigga they always talking about.
The feud between Trap City and Bloodhound Drill City has had a significant cultural impact, particularly within the Chicago drill music scene. Both gangs have used drill music to mock deceased rivals and glorify violence, further fueling tensions. Diss tracks from both sides have gone viral, with lyrics explicitly referencing murders and ongoing violence. These songs serve as both a form of expression and a weapon, as they provoke rivals and incite further retaliation. Social media has also played a major role in escalating the conflict. Members of both gangs use platforms like Instagram and Twitter to taunt each other and celebrate acts of violence. This online warfare has created a feedback loop where real-world violence is amplified by digital provocations. The result is a cycle of revenge that shows no signs of slowing down. As of early 2025, the feud between Trap City and Bloodhound Drill City remains active, with no signs of resolution. Both sides continue to engage in retaliatory violence, using music and social media as tools to provoke each other. The cycle of revenge has led to numerous deaths, violence and heightened tensions within Chicago's drill scene. The feud has also drawn attention to the broader issue of gang violence in Chicago. Community leaders and activists have called for judicial and political reforms to address the root causes of the conflict. However, with both sides deeply entrenched in their positions, finding a resolution remains a daunting challenge. And that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.